are people saying about me? And why should you be listening to me? So first, I've been featured in entrepreneur.com. They did an article about me, how I empower others and my life's mission to be a kingmaker. And that's kind of a play on words because my name is Rey. In Spanish, it's Rey, which means king. And I truly believe about as a king, you need to lead, but you need to lead through service, not through arrogance, not through ego, through giving. And for me, it's all about creating kings and queens, right? And teaching entrepreneurs how to lead through service. I'm also a best-selling author. I've written 3 books. The last one, Cracking the Celebrity Code, one of my best works. I break down exactly how you're going to build a personal brand. Everything that I'm lightly touching on today, I dive into deeply in that book. I'm also the host of a talk show called Today's Premier Experts that's available on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Most importantly, I'm a philanthropist. I really care about giving back. My partner Dave and I created a nonprofit organization called Influence with Love. It's where we support children and youth in underprivileged areas. We mentor them, we bring them gifts, we bring them toys, we give them love. We have other entrepreneurs that work with us that come and join in the mission trips. So it's a real great way to give back, really stay humble. And for me, it's really when you become a person of influence, what do you need to do? You need to influence with love. You need to spread love in the world. And that's what we're really committed to doing. I also have a podcast and a radio show, had some amazing guests. One of my good friends and long-term client, Les Brown. You'll kind of see a little bit about him in that intro video we had earlier. And last but not least, I'm a former fitness model, and I'm on the cover of a fitness magazine called The Challenge. Now, what I really want to get into is why is personal branding so powerful, right? Personal branding increases your sales because if people do business with people they like, know, and trust, we all know that. So I'm not telling you something new. The question is why and how do we leverage this knowledge? So the first thing I want to go over is, have you ever seen this person right here? Ronald McDonald. Does everybody say Ronald McDonald? Drop in the chat. Let me know because I can't really see you guys. Drop in the chat. Yes, you know this? Okay. So here's a funny story. When McDonald's first opened, they didn't have Ronald McDonald as their mascot. Okay. But one of their competitors, another hamburger establishment, was taking large market share from them. And what they had to do is create this person to represent McDonald's to try to take back some of that market share. Now that establishment, that other hamburger establishment had the owner and founder as the face of the business. Can anyone drop in the chat? Can you guess who was that other hamburger establishment that had the owner and founder as the face of the business? Let's see who gets it. Let's see. Okay, and there we go. Wendy's, Mr. Dave Thomas. How many of you remember Dave Thomas? And how many of you ever go to Wendy's and you see Dave there with the little tray in his picture? He's been passed for many years, but we still see him there. So what I really want you to think about is how does this man help sell more hamburgers? How's that possible, right? So here's the next one. Everybody know who J-Lo is, right? J-Lo. J-Lo has a perfume. She actually has multiple perfumes. But I was really shocked to find out J-Lo never invented the scent. You know, I could have sworn she'd be in the laboratory smelling, oh, I don't like that one with the lab coat and the glasses, but it didn't go down like that. Some marketing people connected with her PR agency, said, hey, we have this scent, we want to put J-Lo on it. They worked out a deal and they launched it and they made millions of dollars. Do you think that that same fragrance, that same smell would have sold the same amount without J-Lo's name on it? Drop in the chat. Do you think they would have sold the same amount without J-Lo's name on it? No way. So I ask you this question. How is it possible that a perfume, a smell, can sell more of that product because we put a person's face on it? Can anybody drop in the chat, why do you think Wendy's was able to sell more hamburgers and this perfume is able to sell more because they put a person's name on it? Why do you think? Drop in the chat, why do you think that they are selling more with a person representing the company? Personalization creates connection. Absolutely right, Teresa. They like the person. Very important. They're attracted to that person. Okay? Therefore, they'll listen. Personability, recognition. People like them and trust them. Yes, Mike, you guys are on the right track. So here's my favorite one. And Dave might have spoiled it last week, but I'm going to do it again just in case for the newbies. Nike, the most recognized brand in the entire world. Even more than Coca-Cola, people recognize this logo right here. But what would you guess? Drop in the chat. What's the best-selling Nike of all time? Can somebody guess? Yup. Everybody got it. It's the Jordans. Well, hold on. Where do we go? There we go. It is the Jordans. Now, if you notice in the chat, no one even said the word Nike. Look at the chat right now. Jordans, 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 Jordans. No, Air Jordans. I sometimes get Air Jordans, or Michael Jordans. No one in the years and the thousands of people that I have spoken to, no one has ever said the Nike Jordans. So I really want you to think about that for a second. And I know what you're thinking. I'm not Michael Jordan. I'm not J-Lo. What does this have to do with me? And you're right. You aren't this big major celebrity right now, but you can become the recognized authority or celebrity. And I say celebrity with quotes, right? Celebrity, and I'll explain what celebrity is in a moment. In your niche or industry, you can become that. I have built a formula. I wrote a book on it, and I'm living proof that this is actually possible for you. So would you like to learn how to become a celebrity? Who would like to learn the formula of what is a celebrity? Make sure, because if not, I can skip and move on to something else. I want to make sure everyone wants to know. Yes, definitely. Yes, sure. Bring it. Me. Yes, that's what I want to hear. Okay. Pay close attention to what I'm about to explain to you. Here's the formula that I created. Ready? What people see, hear, and read about a person multiplied by the amount of exposures over time. Okay, I'm going to say it one more time and write this down. What people see, what they hear, and what they read multiplied by the amount of exposures over time. Ladies and gentlemen, a celebrity is a perception. It's not real. It doesn't exist. It's not a material thing. It is a perception in someone's mind. And that perception starts with what they see, what they hear, and what they read. But it doesn't happen the first time. It happens over multiple times of seeing, hearing, and reading about this person. And obviously, right, they need to be trustworthy. They need to be credible. They need to be positioned as an expert. Otherwise, that perception won't continue to grow. But after a certain amount of time, after enough exposures to what they see and hear and read, that person will be a celebrity in their mind. Does that make sense? Can you put yes? Do you agree that that makes sense? And that anyone, any human being, that you can become that celebrity if you focus on putting out into the world using this amazing digital technology that we have for people to see, hear, and read about you, that you are trustworthy, you're credible, you're an expert, and position you as that authority in your niche. So that perception becomes celebrity in their mind. Okay? And that's what I'm going to teach you guys how to do briefly. And obviously, those of you that are joining us in December for Brand in 2 Days, I'm going to break it down into detail and really get you to learn how to actually do that. So how does celebrity branding really benefit you? I really want you to take a picture of this slide, because this is what you are going to get. This is what are the benefits for you. So number one, becoming the recognized authority in your niche or industry allows you to maximize your brand presence across all your social media platforms. And I know a few of you who had 6 and 7 as your branding already understand the importance of the social medias, right? Number two, it allows you to build your authority, to increase your revenue, and here, you ready? Attract higher paying clients. Imagine what it would be like if you could get paid more for the exact same thing you're doing because you have a higher perception of value. I see it all the time. Tony Robbins, Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, Ty Lopez, Billie Jean Marketing, Kevin Harrington, all these. I work with all these guys. I've studied how this works. You get paid more because of who you are, and you impact millions with your personal brand message, which in my opinion is the most important. Now, I have a question for all of you. Why don't all entrepreneurs have a world-class brand? And more specifically, why do you not have this world-class brand? What's been holding you back? Please drop it in the chat. I want to see what is the reason that you don't have this celebrity world-class brand right now. Drop it in the chat. What's been holding you guys back? Let's see here. Didn't know what my brand is. Awesome, Renita. Myself, Robbie. Beautiful. Never thought it was something for me. That's awesome, Luanda. Teresa, focus. Charity, hope I said that right. I'm sorry if I mangled it. The right team and brand formula. Yes, the know-how. Belief in myself, Derek says. Lena, no guidance. Okay, I'm going to give you guys my top 3 that I traveled the country finding out from entrepreneurs, not understanding that I should. And you guys pretty much, but nobody said the number 1. So number 1 is time, number 2 is money, and number 3 is I don't know how. Now, the good news for most of you is the don't know how is going out the window, because between what I explained to you today and when you attend our event in December, Celebritize Your Brand in 2 Days, you will know how. That excuse is off the table. Now, the time and money, we also have solutions for that because we built an entire team to support entrepreneurs in this journey. And if you notice, it says EA team. You'll notice I'm wearing it on my t-shirt. And EA stands for Entrepreneurs Agency. I've been doing branding and marketing for over 15 years. And entrepreneurs are my clients. And before I'm a marketer, before I'm a branding person, before any of that, I'm an entrepreneur. So everything that I do is for myself first. And it has to work and it has to deliver results for me. Otherwise, I would never share it with anyone or would never let anyone buy the services from me if I don't use them on a daily basis and they provide results. Now, here's the one thing I do know. I know a lot, but I don't know everything. But what I'm a master at is finding the best people in all the different areas. And you are looking at the all-star Entrepreneurs Agency team. You see Dave right next to me. On the other side is Julian. who is our head of our video production department. And every single individual person you see in this group has an area of expertise. Therefore, I can provide every single piece of knowledge that is needed to my clients and, most importantly, myself, because I'm an entrepreneur just like you. And when you attend our Celebritize Your Branding 2 days in December, you're going to get to hear from all these different people's knowledge. They're going to work with you hand in hand. You're going to be able to ask them questions in breakout rooms and really, really get clear on what it is you need to do to take your individual businesses to the next level. Now, I just want to say this. Celebrities are made. They are not born. And they're made through that exposure of what you see, what you hear, and what you read over time. So you can become a celebrity in the perception of others. Okay? Now, I want to have a little fun with you guys. I want to give you some love. Who likes free gifts? Drop in the chat. Do you like free gifts? Let's see. Or should I just skip over the free gifts? Okay, Tadal likes free gifts. Denise likes free gifts. Luana does. Teresa does. Robbie does. Okay. I'm going to make this really, 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 really simple for you guys so I can send you some cool free gifts. Everybody pull out your cell phone. And I want you to open up Instagram. Okay? If you do not have Instagram, then no free gifts for you. And you need to get on Instagram. And I'll explain to you in a moment why you have to be on Instagram, because it's the #1 social media in the entire planet. Facebook bought Instagram because it's the #1 social media, and they knew that they were going to lose their market share if they let them keep growing, so they bought them out for $1 billion, right? So go to Instagram and type Ray Perez 360 in the search at the top. Type in Ray Perez 360 at the search in the top. That is going to pull up my profile that looks like this image right in the picture. And what I want you to do is click follow. All you got to do is follow me. And I will pull up my Instagram right now, and I will see some people following me. And I'm going to pick a little winner, and I'm going to give a winner at the end of this presentation a little gift just for playing and having fun with me. So let's see here. Okay, I see them coming in. All right, we got Giovanni. We got, see, okay, here, Cinderella. Not sure who Cinderella is, but we got Jocelyn. Now, one little piece of advice for all of you. We got Lens New York, Sabrina, Beauty Tattoo. We got a bunch of different. Very important. Here's a little piece of information when it comes to Instagram. Make your Instagram handle with your name. You might not be able to have only your name. If you notice, mine says Ray Perez 360. You could put Ray Perez 007, whatever you want, but you should have your name in your handle. Reason why? People will know who you are, because I'm seeing you guys follow me. Well, Andrea, I know her name, but a few of you, I don't know that's your name because it's not in the handle. So that's a little piece of advice to make it easier for people to find you. Try to have your name inside the handle, okay? And my team will reach out to you guys through social media, and we're going to send you a little something just for following us. And I'm going to pick a winner at the end of this who I'm going to give something very special to. So thank you for following me. And notice what I did, by the way, right? Notice how I'm integrating everything that I'm teaching right into my presentation, okay? I practice what I preach. So how do we build this world-class personal brand? Number one, we need to start with the language, okay? I think someone said that at the very beginning. And what is the most important language? Number one, write this down. Expert title. You must have an expert title. This is why you're valuable, why people want to talk to you. And the second thing is your unique selling proposition, which is your USP. What are the benefits that people receive by working with you? What are the results? Not what you do. People don't care about what you do. They care about what you do for them. And it's very important when you're crafting the language of your expert title and your USP. It must provide value. Otherwise, they're not going to engage. They're not going to follow up. They're not going to connect with you. And I don't really want you to believe me. I don't want you to even trust what I'm saying. I want to prove it to you. Would it be okay if I actually prove to you the difference in a proper expert title and how that feels? Drop in the chat. Is that okay? Okay, excellent. So I want you to listen closely. I'm going to introduce myself 2 different ways. And I want you to tell me if you feel a difference in how I introduce myself. You guys ready? Here we go. Welcome, everyone. My name is Ray Perez, and I'm owner and founder of AMP Productions. Welcome, everyone. My name is Ray Perez, and I'm a global branding expert. Did you feel a difference? Which one had more value to you? Number 1 or number 2? Drop it in the chat. Let's see. Number 1 or number 2? Which one felt like there was more value for you? There we go. Look at the chat, everyone. Number 1 or number 2? Which one felt like it had more value? This is the difference just by an introduction. How powerful it could be to just introduce yourself and have instant energy, instant connection, instant value. This is why language is so important. This is why an expert title and a USP, which are the number 1 and 2 pieces of language that will be everywhere in your marketing, it's what introduces you to the world, is so important. And we will be going over the formulas of how to build a good expert title and USP within our Celebritize Your Brand in 2 days in December. So we're going to be working on that with you. So that will be taken care of. Next, we talked about it at the beginning, consistency and omnipresence. Why is consistency important? I'm not sure where everybody lives, but in Florida, we have a supermarket called Publix. And Publix has a green sign that says Publix on it. So think of whatever your neighborhood supermarket is and whatever the color of the sign is. If you were to be in a different city and go to that same brand of supermarket, but the sign was a completely different color, how would you feel? Drop it in the chat. You go to your usual supermarket, you go to a different one, and the sign is a completely different color. In Florida, it's green. Imagine if it was blue. How would you feel when you get there? Drop it in the chat. Not sure if it's the same, confused, unsure, copied, like it's a copy, right? It's a different owner, confused. Okay, look at the chat, everyone. Everyone collectively agrees that if the brand consistency is not the same, then the credibility isn't either. Now, let's think about you. When someone goes to your Facebook, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your Twitter, your YouTube, your TikTok, your Snapchat, whatever you got, do they see the same brand color, the same image, brand consistency? If they do not, look at the chat. That's how they're feeling. Confused, unsure. Is this the right person? Is this the same person? But no one's going to call you or message you and say, hey, I was researching you on social media and I wasn't really sure if this was you because your brand consistency is all over the place. No one's going to do that. But they are going to feel confused and unsure. Is this making sense to everyone? Drop into the chat. Is this making sense? Is this clear? Is this like clicking for you? Wait, Ray, that makes total sense. I should have consistency in my brand, right? Okay. Here's another example of consistency, right? One of our clients, Curtis Banks, one of my greatest guys in Texas. Okay? Now, efficient and effective systems are very, very important because they will save you time. Okay? My good friend Jim Rohn says time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you can't get more time. So one of the most important things for you to understand when you're building this personal brand presence, it isn't just about how you look. It isn't just about the way people perceive you. It's how much time does it take for them to start building a relationship with you. Because I started off this presentation and everyone agreed that business is built on relationships. So if we can create a relationship with a person faster, the chances of us doing business will come a lot sooner. And I want everyone to understand something. We live in a digital world. Now more than ever. 8 months ago, when I had this exact same conversation to thousands of people when I've been presenting all over the world using planes like Ubers, like James, it was relevant. Today, it is not just relevant, it's the most important thing on the planet. Your digital presence is how people are going to meet you. It's the future, it's the present. If you do not have a trustworthy, credible, expert personal brand, people can't build a relationship with you because we are now connecting digitally. It's very rare that you're going to meet more people physically than you're going to meet them digitally. Is this making sense? Is everyone, you getting this? Okay, beautiful. Now, another benefit is building your online brand presence. It's that it builds raving fans, right? I think James is a perfect example. We all love James, right? We're here because of him. Yes, he provides value. Yes, he brings expert advice, but we love James, right? We're his fans. And that is what you will create when you build your personal brand. Fans that will promote you, that will share you, that will have you come and speak at their events. And here's the reason why. You'll also get more introductions. And I say not referrals because referrals seems very salesy. I never want anyone to give me a referral. I ask for introductions because introductions are relationship based. Referrals are sales based. And one of the main reasons that people will introduce you to others, like James, I will introduce him and he will introduce me, is because our brand is so good that we make each other look good to the person we're making the introduction to. When I introduce James to someone, I look good in that person's eyes because James is a rock star. Same thing. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have a good brand presence. I wouldn't be having this blessing and opportunity to share this wealth of knowledge with you if James didn't see. And what happens? I make James look good. And it's the most amazing experience that people will promote you. They'll introduce people to you because you make them look good. It's phenomenal. Now, I know I only have a few minutes before I got to start wrapping up. So for those of you that are not attending the Celebritize Your Brand in 2 days event in December, I'm going to drop in the chat right now a link for you guys to register. Okay? Dropping it in the chat right now. You can click on that. And typically we charge $997 for the event. But because you're part of James' community, obviously James talked to me and talked to Dave and said, you guys need to do something special for our people. These are my close inner circle. So we're not doing it at $997. We're going to do it for only $97 just to cover our cost of the technology and our team and the equipment and all that stuff. You must use the promo code SAVENOW. If you want to pay the $997, God bless you. I'll take it. No problem at all. But use the code SAVENOW underneath and it will turn it to $97. And you will be joining us December 2nd and 3rd. Mark your calendars. December 2nd and 3rd. We'll be going over everything that I've talked about today 10 times deeper. We'll be working in groups. You'll be getting to meet my entire team of the Entrepreneurs Agency. You'll learn about video. You'll be learning about visual identity, verbal identity, value identity, presenting skills. Dave's going to talk about selling, creating irresistible offers. Everything's wrapped in this event. It's not just about branding. It's about everything needed to make you a celebrity in your space. Okay? So I see that Lawanda's going to be there. Big Mike is going to be there. Deborah's going to be there. Galaxy A11. I don't know who you are, but you're going to be there. So I love it. So before I wrap up, I just want to share a few attendee success stories. This is actually a good friend of mine that I did his branding years ago. He was a real estate agent, and he just wasn't really positioning himself in a way that elevated him. So instead of being a real estate agent, he is now a real estate investment specialist, which sounds very different than a real estate agent, right? The next one is she used to be a fitness trainer. I'm a trainer. Now she's a healthy, fit lifestyle coach. And we did her branding over 3.5 years ago. Not only is she a healthy lifestyle fitness coach, she doesn't even do training anymore. She has online programs and has these WhatsApp groups with all these women all over the world. And she's coaching them on lifestyle, on how to eat, on how to train, on how to live. And she's doing phenomenal just because we changed the positioning. And the last one, which is actually works with us as my CTO, he used to say, I build websites. That was his thing. Now he's a website and app development specialist. See the difference between I build websites and I'm a website and app development specialist? You feel the difference, right? A few testimonials. I'm not sure if you guys know who Kevin Harrington is, but he says, Ray only puts on first-class events. He impresses me every time. And he's the original shark from Shark Tank. He's also the inventor of the infomercial, the as seen on TV pioneer, and a serial entrepreneur. Jeffrey Hazlett, he's a global business celebrity, best-selling author, keynote speaker, and he's a primetime television and podcast host. He's also the founder of the C-Suite Network, largest network of C-level executives. He says, Ray's the top performer, only delivers the best for his clients. And last but not least is my good buddy, Mr. Les Brown, that some of you may have heard of, world's most renowned motivational speaker of all time, best-selling author, highly sought-after resource in business and professional arenas. He says, Ray's a true professional, and it's always a pleasure to work with him. Now, one thing that Dave might have not mentioned about our event, when you register, there is an opportunity to register for the day after the 2 days. And it's called the Marketing Implementation Bootcamp. Okay. And within that Marketing Implementation Bootcamp, you will receive your personal brand map. What does it stand for? Marketing Action Plan. This is where we teach you step by step how to incorporate all these things you learned in Branding 2 Days of how to brand yourself, position yourself. How do you use it in the real world to attract more leads, to get more referrals, to increase the sales, to convert, to grow the business? What are the action steps required to be able to monetize your brand? So Celebritize Your Branding 2 Days, we teach you how to build it. The Marketing Implementation Bootcamp, the day after, we will implement all the tactics and everything on how to use what we built in those 2 days. So if you're registering, there will be that offer. You get it at a very special price. We used to sell it for $4,500 when we did the live event back in the day. Then we went to $1,500 live and virtual. But for you guys, you'll get it when you put that promo code, you'll get it for $147. Now, some of you might have not taken advantage of it last week when Dave offered it. He might have not gone over it because he usually forgets. That's where I come in. If you do want to also attend the Marketing Implementation Bootcamp, which I highly recommend, it's like we will build you the race car in the 2 days, and then we're going to take you on the track to drive the race car on the third day. So you don't want to miss it. If you did not register and you want to do that, please send me a message. You can do it through Instagram, or you can go to rayperez360.com and send me a text and say, Ray, send me the link or get me registered, and I'll have someone from my team reach out to you. Okay? And last but not least, perception is reality. Imagine if you're walking through a parking lot full of cars and you see a Honda and a Toyota. You walk by. Now, what if you see a Mercedes and a BMW? You might look at it. But what if you see an Aston Martin and a Ferrari? What do most people do? They stop, they take a look at it, maybe a picture, maybe a selfie, right? Why is it that these vehicles will get that type of attention? Because they have higher perception of value. When we focus on building your personal brand, it's like putting you in an Aston Martin or in a Ferrari. It's going to attract more people because you are perceived of higher value. But it's not about that. It's about what do you do when you have that perception of value. And like I said before, our nonprofit organization, Influence with Love, is all about serving and giving back to the kids. So when you're positioned, when you have the attention, make sure you use it to serve and give back, because that is what makes the difference in this world. And I'm going to leave you with this. Are you going to be a hunter or a fisherman? What does a hunter do? Hunter's always going after their prey, always searching for the next kill, always searching for that next lead. What does a fisherman do? Takes the bait, drops it in the water, sits back, relaxes, maybe has a beer, depends, and lets the fish come to him or her. You are the bait. Your personal brand will attract your customers. It will attract your business. Be the fisherman, not the hunter. And if you want to connect with me, you can go to rayperez360.com, click the contact button. Do this from your cell phone, because the cell phone will allow you to text or WhatsApp me or all the little features, because it's a mobile device. The computer won't let you do it. But on your cell phone, go to rayperez360.com, click the contact button. You can send me a text with your full name and your best email, so I can save you into my contacts. And if you want to also attend the Marketing Implementation Bootcamp, please make sure that you message me so I can have someone from my team reach out to you to get you registered. And I'm looking forward to seeing every one of you in December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th for our Celebritize Your Brand in 2 days. I know James is going to be popping in, checking it out for us, so I'm very excited. I'm very honored to be part of this group. I'm very appreciative of James, someone who's a mentor to me. I told him the other day, I said, James, I don't know if you remember, but 5 years ago, when I went to my very first speaker camp, you were the one that interviewed me for the Success TV. And he's like, oh yeah, I remember that. I said, I still have that video. I still have that picture of you and me. And that's kind of what I see the launch of my career in this space of everything that I just shared with you. Even though when I met James, I had been working for 10 years, but from that moment forward, it's when really everything shifted. And I just thank you so much, James, for inviting me. You're a friend, you're a mentor, and you're someone that really cares and serves people. And that's why I absolutely love working with you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. I love you guys. And I'm open to Q&A, James, if we have any time. If not.
Yeah. I definitely want them to have Q&A, but I want everybody to know, I've been watching you, and every time we travel outside Vegas, wherever I go, there's Ray. He's there, always on his game, doing his thing. You keep upping the ante, and I tell you, man, I was so excited with two people when I went to BOA. That was RJ, and that was you. Because when I saw you there, and not just being present, but then when people are speaking from the room, what you had to offer them to help them, and these were very accomplished people. Some of them already have billion-dollar companies, and you were able to offer them suggestions and offer them some of your expertise to help them, and it made perfectly sense and perfect great sense, man. So I'm just really proud and honored just to be part of what you're doing, because now you're mentoring me. So I want to thank you so much, man. I'm honored as well. If you guys have questions, how do you want to do the Q&A? You want them to verbalize it? Or you want to type it in the chat and open it up?
If you're okay unmuting the lines and letting people, I'm good with that.
All right. Make sure you guys don't have any dogs crying and babies born.
All
right.
All right. Go ahead. Who wants to go first? Robbie.
You're gonna mute yourself, Robbie.
Here, I'll click there to ask.
All right.
There we go.
Hi, Ray. Yes, looking forward to it. The question I have is, when you were talking about the expert titling and how you, title yourself, that's one of the things, areas where I've been kind of going back and forth with all over the place. So how do you come to the decision on whether you're an expert or you're a specialist or what's the difference?
Well, that's a great question. We are going to do an exercise where I'm going to give you the questions, I'm going to give you the structure, and what will happen is during the event, we go into breakout rooms. So we split into rooms, you're going to be in groups, you're going to do the exercise, and then you're going to share, and you're going to get feedback from everyone else in the breakout room, and then we're going to come back to the main room afterwards.
Perfect. Okay. All right.
Gotcha.
Makes sense.
All right. Anybody else? Teresa.
First of all, I wanted to say, Ray, thank you for having us so actively involved in the chat. I have never been so active. It works, and I'm stealing it. It was, and it's interesting. You were asking about the writing underneath, and it was. I thought it would be a distraction, but it actually kept the eyes kind of moving as I was watching you. So it also, I felt certain to engage without being a distraction.
Wow. Thank you for the feedback.
My question is, I've just I've done a lot of work in this already, but I see you're going to get us actively involved as well, and in groups getting feedback. So I think that's really key in these programs.
Yes. Yes. I mean, it's always a combination between the knowledge and then the implementation. You can't read yourself to success. We have to implement. And which is why that's the whole reason I created the third day, because I taught so much and I realized that people weren't going and actually doing it because they were overwhelmed with the information, that I had to create a second event the day after that I could hold your hand and make you do all the work that you need to do so that you can see the benefits. Because otherwise, you're going to be like, Ray, that was such a great event. I have all these notes. And you're like, yeah, but then I got to go do all the work and I'm too busy and I don't do it. So that's why I created it. And you're going to get so much value, not only from the brand in 2 days, but from the marketing implementation bootcamp also.
I've already done some of this. I can bring some of it that's correct and get feedback from the group.
Oh, yes. That's what we want. Yes, 100%. Yes.
Thank you.
And I'd also like to add this, Dave has been out in my speaker camps on a couple of occasions. Not only did he have everybody eating fire, but they're expert at creating your presentation. And they have a presentator program, and it's certainly the work there. But if you look at the presentation, the way they make it flow from the PowerPoint to the language thing, they built all those things out for speakers. And if you want to play big, it's always worth it to be able to see. I learned how to do things in psychology and speaking and do things that come to create the outcome. But if you can get all those things built out for you, that's going to really improve that, as well as it's going to be part of building your brand, because it's not just what people say and see and what they're saying about you, but it's also about how you're showing up and everything's in line. They'll make you into a rock star. Really. That's the reason why Dave and Ray were out there 2 weeks ago.
I will admit, it was a divine connection. Like, there's no mistake. God put us at the right time, at the right place. And Dave and I will elaborate on how that all happened. It was really through one of the most challenging times in his life, one of the lowest points in his life, that God gave me that window and put me right in there, and a partnership came from that. So I'll share that more when you guys attend the event, but James is absolutely correct. There's this yin and yang type of relationship that we bring to the table. So you guys are going to receive way more than you expect from this event. So thank you, James.
And just so you know, the person, I might have, but
Okay, my question is, you do have some branding, some of the branding, but what is a good way to monetize it other than the normal home site business and not hey, everybody take over branding?
So our event is broken down into multiple sections because there is no one thing about branding, right? So there's video, there's social media, there's live events, there's virtual events, there's online funnels, there's like text messaging. So we will have sections where we talk about all these different categories of media and how you'll use your brand in those